So here I am in Sheffield for day 2 of Stop HS2's Great White Elephant Hunt. It's just stopped raining, which is rather annoying because, well, after Chesterfield and no rolling around in the mud yesterday, the elephant's a little bit dirty. Could have done with some rain on it. It's also got coffee on it. Not quite sure how that happened. Anyway, I'm in Nick Clegg's constituency, Sheffield Hallam. Now, the Deputy Prime Minister's been rather quiet about high-speed rail so far. There were some musings about it might be good for this area, but very little so far. The one thing that does stand out was the coalition agreement back from last year, in which they said that they would develop a high-speed rail network as part of their plans for a low-carbon economy. Now, it's one of those things that sounds great, yeah, that sounds right. Unfortunately, then you look at the figures behind the spin and you realise it's complete rubbish. HS2 Limited's own figures say, oh, broadly carbon neutral, but those are their own figures, and then you look at the real figures. Leading climate environmental type campaigner George Monbiot, he reckoned that actually HS2 was about 35% more polluting than driving your car. So that's not particularly a good thing. The reason for that is basically it's the speed. To get a train up to 225 takes about 2.5–3 times the energy as 125. You know, things like the laws of physics really start to kick in when you hit about 190 miles an hour. And of course the other thing is that CO2 emissions are based per passenger mile. HS2 have a grossly exaggerated passenger forecast, so if the passengers don't go down, the CO2 emissions go up. They also tried to pull this trick at the consultation roadshows, in which said, oh, look how low it is in terms of CO2 emissions. Yeah, this is how it is in France, where all of their electricity is produced by nuclear power. Yeah, we got coal, guys. In terms of CO2, the other thing that they seem to handily have missed is the CO2 emitted from constructing the project. Now, a recent report in New Scientist says that when you actually include the construction CO2 in rail projects, they come out worse than flying. I know, I didn't believe it either, but New Scientist, can't argue with that. Also, they miss out the CO2 emissions from all the traffic jams from the roadworks that will be during construction, and of course all the people who have to drive to these parkway out of town stations, like the one that's you know, a couple of miles from Birmingham Airport, and also the one that's proposed that might happen somewhere around here, because it's going to be South Yorkshire, somewhere around the Sheffield, Doncaster region. You know, some people are saying the airport, others saying, well, no, that's not where a straight line would take it. The fact of the matter is, it's going to be something you're going to have to drive to. Not good. Anyway, let's see if Nick's in. Ah, there's a queue already. Now, that's the fourth time I've tried the door and they're not answering. Oh well, just like the elephant, I'm all deflated. And the sun has just come out in Rotherham, and here I am at the General Hospital. Now, why here? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Rotherham is no different to the rest of the country and is facing at the moment £10 million worth of cuts from the NHS Trust. Rotherham actually gets off quite lightly compared to some of the other trusts in South Yorkshire, but there you go, £10 million worth of cuts. It's when you get somewhere like here at a hospital and you just think, why on earth how can they possibly justify this? How can they possibly justify spending £33 billion on one train line when there are better, cheaper alternatives that benefit more people more quickly in terms of rail solutions? And you're cutting left, right and centre. things that people rely on, in this case, for their lives. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Not at all. Not at all.
Charlie, what's this? What's that? Where is it? What's this? Where is it, Charlie? Charlie, where is it? Charlie.
Well, I'm at Ed Milliband's office, and unbeknownst to me, the Doncaster Star actually printed the route of where I'm going, and they've been expecting me. We're just going to fetch someone down to talk. Result? Well, that was a welcome surprise. Ed Milliband's staff were a lot more receptive than Nick Clegg's. 3 of them came down. You know, a couple taking photos, filming me pumping the thing up. Had a long conversation with one of them, and he was, you know, listened to the arguments. Obviously, as expected, all the stuff that they've got about high-speed rail so far has been from, you know, Sheffield Chamber of Commerce, Leeds Chamber of Commerce, saying how brilliant it's going to be, and that's what the whole thing this week is about. It's about breaking down those myths and saying, no, actually, this is all about London. It's not going to do you any good. And he's been going on about all the trains round here, not just the ones to London, the ones to Manchester, the ones to York, the ones to wherever. They're all standing room only. HS2 is not going to solve that problem. We need more carriages on the trains that are existing. Need better signalling. In-car signalling means that the trains can go faster and you can have more of them on the existing lines. That's what we need to do. HS2 does not solve that problem, and it's a massive waste of money. So the guys are going to go off and read what I've given them. I think that's a result. I think we've done well out of that one, and found out that we have actually got newspaper coverage that I didn't know about. I don't know if it's showing on the internet, because obviously I'm driving a van around the country at the moment. You know, but yeah, great, good stuff. I'm really happy with that. So here we are in Barnsley. Lovely day. Forecast rain. Don't think so. Bit windy. Yeah, Ellie is trying her best to fall over, and I'm just not letting her, because we've not got the same problem as Sheffield. Because, oh, hang on, I've got a really heavy generator here, and yeah, you can try, girl. You can try as hard as you like. You ain't falling over with that on. She's really trying to lie down. She's obviously a bit of a lazy white elephant, to be perfectly honest. Like spending her time led on her back or sat down. Anyway, Barnsley College. Here we are. A lovely new building, brand new. Not even open yet. Not actually quite finished yet, as builders are still up on the top floor. But, so they've got this lovely new facility. Only problem is they've got to cut the staff by 10%, because, well, we ain't got money for education or health or any of those sorts of things. It's all got to cut back. But yeah, white elephant, fast train, fat cats, 33 billion plus whatever else it's going to cost when they figure out the real figures, which is probably only going to be after it's built. Got the money for that. See, this is how lazy she is. I got to carry her around on my back all day. Oh well, I'm sure there's a metaphor here, you know, something along to do with the lines of taxpayer carrying this on their back. Yeah. It's heavy. It's a burden. It's not needed. And the final stop for today, Wakefield Town Hall. And why are we here? Well, they've just produced the budget, and they've got to make 19 million worth of cuts, because they need 67 million worth of cuts by 2015, so in the next 4 years. Council reckon that's probably 1,700 jobs just in this area to go as a result of the cuts immediately. Well, within the next 4 years. But it's all right, because HS2 is going to come along in 20 or 30 years, and everything will be fine then. You know, you just got to wait. Don't know. The leader of the council described it as what? There's no way that this can be done without every community, every family, and every individual in Wakefield being affected in some way. Cuts as big as these cannot be made from efficiencies alone. To claim so is just nonsense. We've been left but no choice but to cut some services and jobs, something I deeply regret. That's Councillor Box, the leader of Wakefield Council. And this is the reality. This is the insanity, that we've got to find these savings, we've got to make these cuts, but £33 billion plus, probably be double that. One railway line. One railway line. It's not going to appear for 20, 30 years. It's insanity. So it's the end of day 2 of the Great White Elephant Hunt, and it's gone really well again today, apart from one notable exception, the bloke who opened up Nick Clegg's office and took a photo of the elephant not answering the door for some reason, though that does seem in line with what's happening generally with the Lib Dems, but also with what's happening with the Lib Dems in terms of HS2, in that a motion was submitted to their conference saying that there should be a public inquiry into HS2, because it is the largest civil engineering project the country will ever have seen, so that should be worth a public inquiry, but that motion was not accepted for, well, spurious reasons to say the least. Completely different thing happened at Ed Milliband's office, where they were receptive, they were looking forward to seeing us because it was in the papers. Yeah, sorry, I got the Doncaster and the Sheffield paper mixed up earlier. Yeah, I can't really even remember where I am. Where am I? Harrogate. Yeah, it's Harrogate tomorrow, first thing. Where was I? Oh yeah, and the papers turned out in Barnsley. Well, they should do, because they were next door at the bloody college where I was at, and Wakefield as well. Bit bothered about Leeds tomorrow. Yeah, you know, just that they're very pro it, and you know, everywhere so far they've been, you know, welcome. What's all this about? Oh yeah, it's fine. And again, with the members of the public, they're all with us that I've spoken to, and you know, I've not been put in a biased view. I've been put just a couple of facts, and they're saying, why are we doing this? And everyone is saying the same thing. This is getting cut, that's getting cut. How come we've got the money for this? And you know, as I said before, the argument that the money is going to be in the net, you know, oh, it's going to be in a few years when George has sorted it all out. We're spending over 800 million in this parliament before a sod is turned. You just look at the cuts that are happening now. The other thing, of course, is that, you know, the electrification of Paddington to Cardiff, that's only costing 900 million. So you could probably electrify more or less all of the network, if not all of the network, for the same cost as HS2. You know, like one of those things that they at least want to look at. There's a few more things that they might want to look at in terms of railways, and I'll be starting off with one of those tomorrow morning.